Today's episode of Glenn's Retro Show is brought to you by DNA Dimension Designs, the best custom retro gaming decals in the game, period.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glenn's Retro Show. What are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about the next in the line of the Basic Fun, number 13, Dig Dug. Okay, so here we have Dig Dug from Basic Fun. It's the next in line in their Arcade Classics line, and just like the Galaga before it, it is their new box style. It's a little more simplistic box. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of this change to the box. It just doesn't look as nice as their other boxes did, and there's no number on the front here, but it is still a colorful box representing the characters from Dig Dug, so at least that's kind of nice. We're going to go around to the side here, and here you can see the inside of the console. The artwork looks pretty good, and you do see number 13 down here, so it's the last one currently in their lineup, but the 13 again is not done the way they've done on the other machines. And this clear window, you can see on the back of the other ones here, it's actually the opposite side, so it doesn't match all the other ones except, of course, the Galaga, which is the other one in the lineup. Scroll around to the back, and it gives a little information about the game itself, about Dig Dug itself. And I mean, they do a nice job with all this. Then the box itself is a nice stock box. There's just changes, and my current understanding is that the Bridge Direct and Basic Fun are now separated, and it's really just Basic Fun making these now, so it could be a licensing thing or something contractual where they had to change the box, couldn't use the exact same box they had before. And you do have over here on this side again the side artwork with the number 13 on it. Again, you can see from these ones in the back how it's different from the 13 that could be done on these other ones over here. And overall it's an okay box. It's definitely not, again, as nice as the other ones. They do have nice artwork on it. But so much about the box, we don't really care about that. Let's get this Dig Dug out of here and try some gameplay. Okay, so we have the unit outside of its box. And in typical fashion, they have their standard little booklet here. Again, it's a fairly nice booklet. It's better than the big poster that some people send out. So it gives you little basic details about Dig Dug, you know, how the game is played. Very simple instructions, different scoring, different gameplays, tips on the game. So very, very basic information, but this is fine. I actually like the way that they do that. So that hasn't changed, which is good. Now this, like I said, was about $19. I got it from Walmart, and it does include the 3 AA batteries, so you can play it for a little bit. And you have your on-off button down here, your off, low, high sound volume, your start game, your pump button, and your 4-way direction locked joystick, which is fine. Dig Dug can only move in 4 directions, so that's actually kind of nice. The detail on the artwork here is very, very nice. And again, it's their standard cabinet. For Dig Dug, though, I kind of wish the joystick was on the other side, but it's okay. I mean, this is not a big deal with this type of game. Let's just take a look at the side artwork over here. And again, they do a nice enough job here with their decals on here. This one looks pretty good. Some of them will have little dust bubbles in there. This one on this side looks pretty good. And on the back, once again, we have our little demo tab here. So we're going to pull that out to take it out of demo mode. Pull that out, just like so. And once again, this is your battery compartment. There are 4 AA batteries in here already. And there's a reset button in case the machine malfunctions. And we'll take a look at the other side, and once again, the artwork looks really good. I don't see any bubbles on this side over here, so that looks pretty good as well. We're going to come back to the front, and you can see the machine is on from demo mode, and you can see, I hope it comes across okay, and actually might be some light coming down from my overhead here, so I think I'm going to see if I can move it around a little bit. Actually, it's not too bad. I think that's okay. So the screen looks really well, and we're going to move this camera a little bit closer for the gameplay, because I really can't play from this far away. So I'm going to move this camera a little bit closer. Okay. So Dig Dug's a very simple game. You have your start button, your pump button to pump your enemies, and your 4-way direction locked joystick, which is totally fine. So let's start a game going. That looks really nice. That's the main screen you would see when you put a coin in on the arcade. Dig Dug goes across the screen. So I'm going to press it again. Well, I can say already, the sound effect sounds pretty good, and unlike the tiny arcade, going under a rock, I'm gonna get killed! On the tiny arcades, when you go under a rock, it'll drop immediately. Here it will hold until you move out of the way. So graphically, I would say this looks really good. Sound effects are really good. The sound continues just a tiny second after, half a second after you stop, but that's actually not too bad. I mean, overall, graphics are really good. And you can see when I'm under the rock, it doesn't drop on me like in the tiny... Oh, it did! Oh my goodness! Those rocks are supposed to stay there until you move out of the way, so I take back that the rock does not drop. Let me try that again. That rock is supposed to stay there. Nope, it still tumbles. Okay, so the tiny arcade and the basic fun Dig Dug both missed on that mark. You're supposed to be able to hold a rock until you move out of the way. That's alright, as long as I know. But graphically, it looks really good. The joystick's working pretty good, actually. And so is the fire... Oh, he's going to try and get away. Oh, where are you going to go? Oh, he's going to try and escape, but you're not. And I'm really impressed with how clear the screen is. I'm going to say this is actually a really good version of Dig Dug. I'm just a little disappointed about not being able to hold a rock until I'm ready to release it. But overall, for being a recreation, this is definitely not the arcade ROM. Ah! Uh-oh. This is not the arcade ROM, but they're doing a pretty good job of recreation here. This is not an NES ROM, as far as I know. From what I can tell is they're recreating these games from scratch. And I think for that, that's really not bad. The console looks nice. The gameplay is pretty accurate, again, aside from the rock, which I've said a couple of times. But the pumping action, the AI, the Dig Dug, where he moves, just the only difference there is when you do stop, the sound of the music continues for just a second longer, or half a second longer than it should. Oh, I was trapped there. But that was actually not bad. This little guy is probably, I think right now, one of my favorites that they make. I'm going to try it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Let's see, the rock is still holding. The rock is still holding. Maybe it's just your position here. Let's see. When will that rock start to tumble? Still not tumbling? Oh, there it goes! Okay, maybe you have to leave a tiny bit. The arcade probably gave it a little more leeway. But still very enjoyable. This guy's going to try and get away. I'm not going to have that. the joystick feels pretty good. I mean, the Galaga, the joystick felt really good there as well. The Miss Pac-Man didn't feel as good, but maybe they're improved that a little bit, or just a better lot of the rubber that they use for the joystick pads is just a little bit better, the batch. But these have been feeling pretty good. I'm definitely enjoying this game. This is pretty good copy of Dig Dug here. And with Dig Dug, like so many other machines, the controls are like the main thing. When you have bad controls, it's going to make the game experience bad. But these are actually pretty good. The sound is pretty good. I think for the price, this is not a bad deal. He's going to try and go away. But you're not. Oh, there he goes. He might get it. Oh. Come to Papa. Not too bad. Let me give you my final thoughts on this one. So what's my final thoughts? Well, this guy is actually pretty good. The sounds are good. The joystick and the fire buttons all worked really well. The artwork looks really nice. The sounds are really nice. And the gameplay is almost spot on. A little different with the rocks. It looks like they will hold if you're in the right spot. If you go a little bit too far, though, it's going to drop on you. But that's a little minor gripe. Overall, I think it's a great little game. It doesn't look like it's an NES ROM. Like the Galaga before it looks like it's a home recreation of the game. It's not the arcade ROM. It's not an NES ROM. So my guess is they're recreating it. And I take my hat off to Basic Fun for doing that. It's a fun little game for $19. I think it's worth picking up. I'm not a fan of the new boxes that they're using on there at all. I'm not a fan of that. But that's also a minor gripe for what it is. The game itself is why you're buying it, not the box, unless you're me. And I thought it was pretty fun. So if you like Dig Dug, you might want to check this one out. And I want to thank you for checking out this video and spending some time with me to watch this video. If you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel, and remember everyone, game on! Like I'm going to do right now.
Glen at the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.